Hello guys. I really hope that you're having a great Sunday. It's pretty hot in Kolkata. Yesterday I launched my new YouTube channel that's dedicated solely to films and only films because I'm mad about films. I was suggested by a friend of mine that I should come up with some past anecdotes which would be of great interest to movie buffs. So this time around I'm starting off with how Shatrughan Sinha was the initial choice for a film called Sholay. Not only Sholay, but also Deewaar. In fact, he himself had admitted in many of his interviews that Salim Javed, Ramesh Sippy wanted him to play the role of Jai, which eventually went to Mr. Bachchan. But due to some reasons, he couldn't say yes to the project. But he does regret the fact that he couldn't do it because both the films actually, catapulted Amitabh Bachchan to unprecedented heights as a superstar, as a star to, reckon with. But having said that, if you personally ask me, I would say that maybe, it was destined. That role was destined for Mr. Bachchan. Though people might have this option that might have this notion that since we are all used to seeing Amitabh Bachchan as Jai, maybe we just can't imagine somebody else in that role, in that shoe. But I personally feel that the way Mr. Bachchan emoted, I'm not saying this because I'm a great Amitabh Bachchan fan, but I'm of the firm view that the way Amitabh Bachchan uh, displayed his emotions, be it in action or in comedy or in sad sequences. I think those are like phenomenal. Probably Shatrughan Sinha, despite the fact that he is a great actor, uh, you know, might not have been able to kind of maybe he couldn't have been able to sort of fit the bill as clear as that. That's what I think. So this is about analysis, but talking about this film, there are also various anecdotes around Shatrughan Sinha. In fact, he's a great character. If you get to sit with him, I've never had the good fortune of sitting with him and taking his interview. But whenever he talks, he doesn't mince words. In fact, Mere Apne, the film which also turned out to be a huge blockbuster. Not only, and it was a kind of a turnaround for Shatrughan Sinha as well. Initially, when the casting was done, he was nowhere in the reckonings, but he had this hunch that this film would ultimately come his way. In fact, it did happen, and the dialogue, "Sham kahan hai?" बोलना छेनू आया था. This is like it's part of the folklore, and it's like it's an iconic dialogue, no doubt about that. So that's what the Hindi film industry is all about. It's not just the Hindi film industry; it's also about films as a whole. You have somebody in mind, you want to cast him or her, but then something comes up, and he or she is sort of out of the reckonings, and somebody else chips in, and that film turns out to be, a big hit, a blockbuster. In fact, to be very honest, Govinda was the initial choice for Gadar, but Govinda was, not quite at home with the kind of expletives that was there in the film, so he said no. So these things would, keep on happening in the Hindi film industry. So next time around, I'll come up with many more anecdotes, many more stories which will be of great interest to you. And kindly subscribe to my newest channel, Mad About Films. It's an endeavor that I hope would be to your expectations, be to your likings, and please support me. Please encourage me, and please cooperate with me. Thank you so much. Have a great Sunday.